What's good? How y'all doing? This is ZaZa Ali, and welcome to another edition of 60 Days of History with ZaZa Ali. Today is day 4, the Rock of Gibraltar, and we are going to be taking from chapter 2, the Moors in Spain, one of my favorite periods in history. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. To the Kushite race belonged the oldest and purest Arabian blood. They were the original Arabians and creators of the ancient civilization, evidence which is proven by the extraordinary ruins in every part of the country. At the time the Ethiopians began to show power as monarchs of Egypt about 3000 to 3500 BCE, the western part of Arabia was divided into two powerful kingdoms. In those days, the princes of Arabia belonged wholly to the descendants of Kushites who ruled Yemen for thousands of years. From 3000 to 3500 BCE, this Arabian civilization equaled that of Egypt and Babylon. And that is from the great Drusilla Dungy Houston. That quote is from the great Drusilla Dungy Houston. Um, an Arab general named Musa Nasir was appointed governor of northern Africa in 698 CE. Although he was interested in military advancement in Spain, he hesitated, knowing that a campaign on Iberia could exhaust his armies. The Visigoths, remember we talked about them already, who had, oh no, not the we talked about the Hyksos, but the Visigoths are their ancestors, ironically so. The Visigoths, who had earlier toppled the Roman Empire in Iberia, had ruled for over 200 years. The Visigoths were a vigorous, rather barbaric people who, as Christians, believed in religious reward for their vices. Over time, they had become quite as corrupt and immoral as the Roman nobles who came before them. Yet another obstacle stood between Musa and Iberia. An outpost of the Greek Empire rested on the northern tip of Morocco. This door to Iberia was guarded by Count Julian, an ally of Roderick, ruler of Iberia. Count Julian fought off all Arab and Moorish attacks, and his fortress remained secure until Julian, for personal reasons, switched his allegiance from Roderick of the Visigoths to Musa Nasir of the Moors. My computer's moving a little slow, so bear with me here. Tradition has it that Roderick, while responsible for Julian's daughter's protection during her training at his court, broke his trust and took advantage of her sexually. Julian, furious at his betrayal, quickly rescued his daughter and sought out Musa. Julian proclaimed to the Arab governor his intent to ally himself completely with Musa for the purpose of conquering the rich lands of Spain. He offered his own ships along with his knowledge of Roderick's defenses. While consulting with his caliph, Musa sent an exploratory mission of 500 soldiers led by the Black Moor Tariq. After the reconnaissance mission returned a success in July of 710, Musa prepared to conquer Spain. Sources indicate that Musa selected another Black Moor to lead the attack on Spain. Tarik ibn Ziyad became a great general in Islam and was the conqueror of Spain as the commander of the Moorish army. Stanley Lane Poole, author of The Moors in Spain, also makes reference to the Moor Tariq with 7,000 troops, most of whom were sent to make another raid. In April 30th of 711 of the Common Era, or CE, Tariq crossed the Straits of Hercules with 7,000 men, of which 6,700 were native Moorish Africans and 300 were Arabs. After landing on the Spanish coast, Tariq seized a great cliff and a portion of land around it. Considering it strategically important, he directed the building of a fortress on the site. Tradition tells us that his men named the fortress after him out of admiration and respect. The name Gabel Tariq or General Tarik was later changed to Gibraltar, and its fortress became known as the Rock of Gibraltar. And let me just switch my screen here so it matches what I'm talking about. Tariq, leaving his fortress, went on to capture Algeciras and Cortea. Along his way through the countryside, he found many Spanish natives eager to join him against the ruling Visigoths. Under the orders of the Umayyad Caliph al-Walid I, Tariq led a large army from the north coast of Morocco, bringing together his troops at a large hill known as Gibraltar, as you can see here in this image. The name Gibraltar is the Spanish definition of the Arabic name Jabal Tariq, meaning mountain of Tariq, named after him. His army decreased size. On the 5th of July of the same year, 711, Tariq, with about 14,000 troops, engaged Roderick, who led some 60,000 troops at the Janda Lagoon by the mouth of the Barbade. Before this battle, knowing they were greatly outnumbered, Tariq addressed his soldiers: "My men, whither can you flee? Behind you lies the sea, and before you the foe. You possess only your courage and constancy, for you are present in this country, poorer than orphans before a greedy guardian's table. It will be easy to turn this table on him if you will but risk your death for an instance." Tariq's army won the day and proceeded to capture Ejigo, Ekeja, Toledo, Archidona, Elvira, Cordoba, and Murcia, Orihuela. According to one source, Toledo was actually handed over to the invading Tariq by the Jews of that city, who also supplied him with arms and horses. Wherever Tariq went, he and his troops were welcomed as deliverers from the oppression of the Visigoths. In 712, Governor Musa rallied 18,000 soldiers, primarily Berbers, and crossed the straits to lend support to Tariq. Musa himself captured Carmona, Sidonia, and Medina, while his son, Abd al-Aziz, took Seville, Beja, and Niebla. Roderick made a final attempt to regain control in 713, but was not successful. Tariq, having been supplied with reinforcements by Musa, finally crushed Roderick on the mountain range of Segoya. Roderick's death after this battle marked the close of the Visigoths' rule in Spain. According to tradition, Roderick was entombed at Vizin in present-day Portugal. The history record clearly shows that the campaign in Spain was masterminded by a Black African general and carried out by predominantly Black African troops. Quote, "Spain was conquered not by Arabs, but by armies of Berbers and Negroids, at times led by Arabs. The Moors in Spain were extremely kind after their victory. The natives were not forced by the Moors to change their customs, language, or religion. The Spanish retained their Romance tongue and enjoyed complete civil independence with their own churches, laws, courts, judges, bishops, and counts. The Islamic Authority insisted only on the right to approve bishops. Only the Berbers, who had helped conquer the land, appear to have been unfairly treated by the Islamic State, a fact which later led to a Berber revolt throughout the empire. The first Moorish dynasty, the Umayyad, ruled Spain, or Al-Andalus, as they called it, from 715 to 750 BC, 750 CE, although some expansion of the Moorish Empire occurred in Lyons, Macon, and Chalon-sur-Saône were taken in 729, the focus during this period was an internal focus rather than an external conquest. Spain is a very large portion of the book. The Moors in Spain and Africans in Asia are the largest chapters, so there is a lot of details and content and context when it comes to that 800-year period of rulership in Europe by the African and Black Arabs of Spain, known as the Moors in Spain. Ancient People is a social studies and history textbook, a full-color 349-page historical expose focused on ancient civilizations around the world. Available in paperback and hardcover, the book places emphasis on vocabulary, spelling, critical thinking, and more. There are more 150 images or photos included in the book as well. Hawaii's Last Monarchy, the Moors in Spain, the Kandakis of Ethiopia and Kush, the African presence in Asia, and in Asia, and Pharaoh Hatshepsut and the 18th dynasty are the featured topics and cultures in ancient civilizations in this book. I will put the link to get more information in the description, or you can go to my website, zazaali.com. Peace and love.